In this video, what we're going to be doing is looking at a lot of the recent Fallout 76 news to come out over the past couple of weeks. There's a lot of different things I want to touch on in this video, some interesting new leaks or data mines that I find particularly fascinating and indicative of something, some other leaks and data mines that I actually want to clear up some confusion around, some interesting things I found around this new seasonal event that's live right now, and then finally something around hacking and banned players in Fallout 76. If you guys do enjoy the content, you can leave a like or subscribe, but otherwise, starting things off, I first want to touch on Meat Week, which is the current seasonal event going on for Fallout 76. This is a week-long event that is only going to last a week, so come the 8th at noon Eastern time, it will go away seemingly forever, or at least until next year. A couple of interesting things around this just in general. If you watched my original video, I touched on how in that, on the day or two after release of this event, people were really struggling to complete it, saying either they couldn't get tier 3 rewards or just in general, were having problems completing it at all. But in the few days since this has been released, it seems like that has totally changed, as now I have next to no problem getting the event completed in just a few minutes. It's actually almost a little bit too fast, and I feel like I don't even get to experience it as much now. But even outside of that, something else that has been noted is one of the odd rewards that you can get from this event. A lot of you guys have actually been sending this to me. There are a myriad of rewards, whether it be new weapons or camp items, but one such item is actually slightly different. That with the Grill Master hat. This is basically just a black chef hat in Fallout 76, but it's actually labeled as an Atomic Shop item, which is weird. That's a label typically reserved for things you purchase on the Atomic Shop and actually comes with additional restrictions, such as not being able to actually trade this item or drop it for others to pick up. I think what actually went on here is Bethesda originally intended for this to be on the Atomic Shop, but then didn't. They just included it as a default loot reward, but then forgot to remove the Atomic Shop classification. On the Atomic Shop right now, there's actually a cooking bundle you can buy. In that, you get the Grill Master outfit, which goes along with the chef hat pretty well and is actually in some of the promotional imagery. So really just a minor bug, and actually it seems like there might be one more bug. There actually are chef hats in Fallout 76 to begin with. They're nigh identical to this Grill Master hat, the only difference being the regular chef hats are actually white, while the Grill Master hat that you could earn from the event is black. But somebody actually pointed out to me how they were having some kind of glitch where even the regular chef hats actually turned white after getting the Grill Master hat. Another fairly minor one, but if you're having that issue, just know you're actually not alone with it. The next thing I wanted to touch on is actually around hacking, and a lot of you guys have been messaging me or emailing me on this topic. Fallout 76's Nuclear Winter mode has had a hacking issue for a decent amount of time now. It's definitely been a fairly persistent issue that Bethesda hasn't taken a strong stance on fixing, whether that be improving the anti-cheat or just flat out ban waves as we've seen with exploits in some of the other game modes. Hopefully that's something coming in the future, but at least as of right now, many users seeing these hackers fairly widespread have been proactive in either A, reporting them or recording them and then creating tickets to report them to Bethesda with the video attached. But it doesn't really seem like this is working. There's one hacker in particular known as Beef Curtains. This is somebody that has several videos of him cheating and hacking on YouTube. Many of these users report that they actually created tickets themselves, manually attached the videos and submitted them to Bethesda. And even one user who created this post actually reached out to me describing how some of these manually created tickets are actually getting closed by Bethesda and either getting ignored or just not getting responses. He describes how initially when actually using the in-game report tool, it creates a ticket and then you just get a canned or generic response from support, but it didn't seem like anything was happening from that. A lot of these reported players weren't getting banned, at least not in a timely fashion. So then these users took it to the next step. They actually created their own manual tickets attaching videos, and on several of these we're seeing something similar, either a generic response not leading to a ban, or even in some, no response at all. You can see in some of these images how the user creates these tickets, but then they actually get flagged as see the given response, despite no response being given. Some other people report their tickets just being closed without a response being given. One of the people to actually back this up is AVX Void. You guys might remember him, as not too long ago I actually showed you this footage of him entering into the Battle Royale level 100 room. He was one of the first people in this new mode to actually hit level 100. And just in general, he plays it all the time. He's pretty good, hence being level 100, oftentimes making it to the end of the match. He also reports how he sees hackers pretty regularly, especially in those final groups, but even further how many of the times when he reports these people, nothing ends up happening and he sees them again. One of the community managers actually responded to this post describing how Although these reports are helpful, due to the terms of service, they actually can't give other users updates on investigations into players. So if they were investigating me, they couldn't give you an update on where they are with that investigation, hence no response on those support tickets. And although that is definitely a plausible and reasonable explanation, at least in my eyes, there is a couple of issues with it. First and foremost, there actually not being responses to support tickets is nothing new. You guys probably remember earlier this year where I covered many of these bans and ban waves, a lot of people claiming they were banned wrongly. Many of those people actually never got a response from support. They would reach out inquiring about their ban. In the original ban emails, a lot of them said, hey, you can appeal this. They would try to do so, but never heard anything back. I just had one person message me about how he was banned all the way back at the end of last year and only just got a response not too long ago, meaning he waited a full 7 months to finally get an answer. Now, maybe most of these bans are deserved, and maybe many of these users were truly hacking, but in the case of even just a couple of false positives, not being able to hear back from support can be pretty problemsome. And although I would say the support side is only really one part of this issue, even if the support doesn't actually give you a response, or even if they can't discuss the issue with you, it also still seems like many of these reported users aren't getting banned. This one particularly notorious user with beef curtains had many videos and many reports going on for a couple of weeks. Maybe now he finally is banned. It's not actually easy to tell, but at the very least, after video evidence of his hacking being submitted, he was still free to play the game for a couple of weeks. That's definitely not something you want, especially if you want to protect the health of this current mode. And even still, if you play the Battle Royale mode, often cheaters are there. I definitely don't see them in every game, but you still see them every once in a while in one game or another. And I would certainly say this is the larger issue that must be addressed if this game mode's to succeed over the long term. Even if it's as simple as maybe the support team is simply overwhelmed, but support tickets with videos included get priority, because those are probably a lot more likely to actually lead to action being taken. Although outside of that, I actually want to talk about several leaks. Recently, a lot of you guys have been sending me this video as it's gotten pretty popular and quite a bit of attention. So a couple of disclaimers around this, although yes, this may end up being future mole miner content, maybe a new dungeon added to the game. This is seemingly a fairly old cell. This was actually shared quite a few months ago, and it's not like it was just recently added, although maybe it did have recent edits. But even further, it is a test cell, which although could be indicative of future content again, doesn't necessarily mean so. It's not like it's on the map right now like some of the other things such as the vaults we see. Again, I just wanted to put out those disclaimers because I think a lot of people are getting really excited around this, and again, maybe it ends up being something, but it's not like this was just added to the game. Although something that was just added to the game are some interesting new additions on the Atomic Shop, and that is Fallout 4 items. So these are actually all data mines, so you have to take them with a grain of salt. We don't know how they'll be incorporated. Typically, some of these Atomic Shop leaks, if you want to call them that, end up being pretty accurate, but at the same time, this could be a free item just on the Atomic Shop. That's something that has happened before, although it is very rare and doesn't typically happen with outfits and armors. So for the purposes of this video, based off what we see in the files, it seems like Bethesda is adding the Mechanist outfit to Fallout 76's Atomic Shop. Now the pricing or whether or not this is going to be a free item is totally unclear, but to be fair, they have actually added previous Fallout 4 DLC items to the shop for money in the past. They cost a certain amount of atoms to actually gain access to them. I made a video quite a while ago condemning this. I think it is a really bad thing to do. I'm not a huge fan of paying for items twice, buying the DLC for Fallout 4, then having the option to buy that outfit a second time in the next game. But regardless, this is something they've already done, so it's not really anything new. What is new, or at least new to me, I haven't seen it done before, is adding Creation Club content to the Atomic Shop. As what we could also find in this recent Atomic Shop data mine is the Captain Cosmos outfit. You guys probably remember this. This was actually one of the cooler and more worth the money things that did appear in Creation Club, I believe earlier this year, maybe it was late last year. The pack overall actually added in a new power armor, a new weapon, as well as this new armor, and a pretty cool quest to actually go get it all. But with the most recent update to Fallout 76, we find it as a potential upcoming item to the Atomic Shop, and again, based off what we've seen in the past, it's likely something that will be charged for, but it's not definite. This still could totally be free, or it could be very cheap. There's no indication of pricing anywhere, although I wanted to bring this up because I feel like it warrants discussion, as I don't actually like this. I actually don't like it at all. This is just my own opinions. I'd actually really like to hear from all of you in the comments down below, but I was never a huge fan of them reselling items from Fallout 4 to begin with. I think they should just be made available for free in-game. Now obviously Bethesda went a different route with their game, but to me, when it actually comes to relisting a microtransaction for sale a second time in your new game, again, this assuming it does does actually cost Atom points and it's not just for free, or if it even goes live. But kind of this double dipping in microtransactions for the same item, I just really don't like. I bought this item in Fallout 4's Creation Club. I actually really liked it. Although maybe it's a little bit on the pricier side, I still thought it was a good addition. But now seeing that for sale again for Fallout 76 just really rubs me the wrong way. And I think actually part of me doesn't even fully understand why. Because at the end of the day, it is a totally optional thing. I don't have to buy this, and neither do you. Or alternatively, I could just earn the atoms for free in game and then unlock it without actually spending any real money. It's just one of those business practices that I really don't want to see. I want to see Fallout 76 succeed, and the Atomic Shop is a core part of that. They have to make money off of the game. There's a lot of really cool stuff they could add. There's actually a lot of really cool stuff they are adding. We could see it from the same data mine. I just really hate the idea that they're going the route of taking an item that was already sold through a microtransaction and potentially selling it again through a microtransaction. I really want to reinforce the idea that time will tell what happens with this. Maybe it never goes live, or maybe it's available for free. Some other items in Fallout 76 are actually from Creation Club, but they don't cost any money. You just earn them as a free unlock, and that I'm totally fine with. Reusing assets, although maybe not the most ideal, is still mostly fine. But yeah, this last part of the video, very speculative, very opinionated. I wanted to include it at the end for that reason, but again, I'd really love to hear what you guys think about this in the future. Assuming this is an item that costs money, how do you feel about that? Do you think on one hand it really doesn't matter because it is optional, it technically doesn't affect you at all? Or alternatively, is it one of those things you're not a huge fan of? Either way, as always, again, I thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, found it informative, but with that, I hope to see you all next time. Later.